Hi there, John here. So today we're going to go over how to configure your Yoast plugin correctly. Right now, we're inside the WordPress dashboard. As you can see here, we're under Yoast, SEO, and General. So what you want to do is to scroll down a bit, and here you'll see dashboard features, integrations, and webmaster tools. So check. We're going to go to features and make sure that these are on for analysis. So if you're using a premium use plugin, usually it will have the option for link suggestions. This is helpful in terms of getting suggestions within your blog post for possible internal links. But for now, since we're using a free version, we want to make sure that the XML sitemap is on. And you can grab your XML sitemap link by clicking this icon here and then go to see XML sitemap. Now everything is loaded. As you can see, there are 14 different sitemaps. And to be honest, you don't need all of them, or you can have as little to as many as these sitemaps. But what we're going to do is make sure that we just have enough of the sitemaps that is needed for Google to crawl. So if you did any changes, make sure to save it. Integrations, just checking Webmaster Tools. So if you're using Webmaster Tools, you want to make sure that you have your Bing verification, Google verification, but you can also do all four. These ones are the ones that I highly recommend. If you have another way of doing the verification, then that's also fine. Just make sure to use this. Now let's go to search appearance. Okay, so scroll down a bit. So here you see general title separator. What that looks is when you go to Google and you see SEO services. So the title separator is this one. So in this case, it's this dash. In this case, I'm not sure what this bar is called. So you can, these ones they're using colon. So it's up to you what you want to use. I usually use this one, but you can definitely change that. And here you type in the organization name, so the name of the website, and of course your logo. So what this does is when people share your website to a social media or any type of link that shows a thumbnail, it also grabs your logo along. Then content types. So this is the most important one in terms of making sure that we clean up the sitemap. So what you want to do, you make sure that the post, of course, appears or shows in the search results. Okay, so the SEO settings, of course, you want that under the widget under the content editor. And next is this one, this SEO title. So if you don't set a meta title for each of your blog posts, this is going to be the default. Next is the meta description. So now it's blank. So usually you can insert a excerpt. That means that you don't have a missing meta description. That's by default. So this is good. Next are the pages. Of course, you want the pages to show up in search results. So yes, yes. Again with this. So we're going to do excerpts. But if you're going to do excerpts, what will happen is just the website or WordPress or Yoast will grab the first few sentences in your paragraph. So it's ideal that you set a meta description for each. And then landing page, we let's see what that looks like. So the landing page is there are none. So I think it's safe that intern it's off. templates, of course, you don't have to use your templates, show your templates. Product pages, yes, you want product pages there. You want to show your product pages. Just make sure that these product pages that you're showing are actually, you want people to see these product pages. So that's good. So yes. So we're just setting the extract again to make sure that it's not missing any meta description. Okay, now we're going to save changes. Next, we want to go to media. So by default, this is yes, and it is highly recommended that you put it on yes. That means that when you click images in your site, it doesn't redirect to an URL, a different URL. So you don't want that to happen. Taxonomies, if you're just using the default taxonomy, for example, we have here these ones. And if it's just linking to an archive page, I'd rather turn it off. You want to make sure that you use less. People would click less to go to the page you want them to go. So you want to rank keywords or pages that you want actually people landing on. So tags, yes, we want to turn those off. Format base, yeah, I'll delete that. Product category, I don't want that. Off. So anything that directed to an archive page, you don't want to be crawled by Google. You want people to go directly to the page that you want them to go, whether it's a product page or a blog and any of these. Then archives. So author archive, unless you have multiple authors, set this to yes, but I'll rather turn it off. Okay, state archive, no. Good. Next is the socials. So here you can add the links to your social media pages. Yeah, as many as you can. And then here you can set these by default. So if you don't want, remember in the organization, we set your logo. But if you want to set a different image to show when you're sharing this in Facebook, you can upload a different image. You also have Twitter, Pinterest, you can play around with it. Then under tools, so tools, if you're going to the import and export, if you're going to use the same settings, if you have multiple blogs, so you can export the audio settings and then import it to the new one. So it's easier to set up things. But if you're just own one website, then there's no need to do that. And then file editor, you initially want to set the file editor. You'll see here the robots, the txt and the ht access file. I don't want to touch this file. I just want to create a custom robot.txt file. So what we want is to add the XML sitemap here. This is to help Google or crawler search engines crawl this sitemap. So I'm just going to. So remember we have 14 sitemaps here before. When we hit, since we already saved changes to our search appearance earlier, when you hit refresh, it will clean this up. So you only have four sitemaps that are very important in the eyes of Google. So just copy the URL. Here, enter this creating space, sitemap : and then type your sitemap XML, save changes to robots.txt, and then let's go back to tools. We're almost done. So bulk editor is when you want to make multiple changes in the meta title and meta description, but it's not something that I use often. It's just I'd rather go inside each pages or posts. But if there's a lot that you want to go through, then you can use bulk editor. And lastly, we have optimized SEO data. So these just speeds up all the gathering all the data from linking structure and just the SEO score you have on your site. So we can start optimizing. And that's actually it. You can do that using the free version of your Yoast plugin. I think the most important part of this configuration is to make sure that you clean up your search appearance and make sure that you only have um, the site maps, critical site maps available so that you don't waste any crawl budget that Google has a lot for your site, and also configuring the robots that txt file here in the file editor to make sure that your sitemap is added. And there's a lot of other things that you can do with robots that txt file, but that's the simplest way to use it. So I'm just going to wait for this to load, but basically we're done here. So thank you and see you on my next video. Bye.